Okay, hi Brian, how you doing? So I've got your paper up, and I want to say this is one of the better first iterations of the paper I've seen while teaching this class, and I've taught this class many times. So you're really off to a great start. And I have a couple of comments. You you really have covered the bases beautifully. Oh, spelling error. That's the only one I found. But you've covered your bases beautifully. The paper is written beautifully, and your sources are formatted beautifully. So great job on your presentation. A couple of things I want you to keep in mind while we're moving through some things that maybe seem really obvious but should be mentioned. And the main thing is the weather. Is this location able to handle the weather? I taught a class in recently where the the student went through this whole thing, wrote up a 14-page paper, and realized that his host city was not capable of holding a Winter Olympic event, and um, and he was like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And I said, "Well, I did. I told you back in week two or week one." And he goes, "Oh yeah, you did, didn't you?" So anyways, things like that you may not think of, or you may think of that just maybe would be a given, but they aren't. So weather is definitely one of those things. A couple of other things that I want you to keep in consideration. And as I said, you've done a wonderful job. The weather venues for supporting for sporting events and ceremonies are there venues? Is there a pre-existing infrastructure? If not, is the host city capable of building venues? Does it have the land? Does it have the capital? Does it have the resources to build? A couple of other things are accommodations for coaches, media, and again, it comes down to venues. Uh, if the infrastructure is there, and if the infrastructure isn't there, look into if the infrastructure for those types of venues and accommodations for athletes, coaches, media, and that nearby the venue. So in other words, and then subsequently look at the transportation infrastructure. So okay, so subsequently you have your host city. If your host city needs to spill over into neighboring cities, are those easily accessible via transportation infrastructure? A couple of other things: leisure and activity for participants when not competing, nightlife, public safety. Public safety is a big one. Remember, was it? Oh yeah, Rio. We went through that whole thing in Rio about how dangerous Rio is and how dangerous it is for the spectators to go out at night. So that was a really, really important consideration that I think a lot of people thought were going to ruin that event. And I don't really know how that turned out. I know that people were really super paranoid, and I know that there was some big problems with the public safety and the safety of the spectators and the athletes. And I'm not referring to what's his head either, that guy that faked his own robbery or however that thing went. Who's that guy? The swimmer guy. Is it a rich cultural heritage? And I don't think you have any problem there with Poland, of course. Environmental sustainability is another big one. Social issues and equality. Communication infrastructure, very, very important. So, in other words, is this is this host city got the infrastructure for communication um, to hold the type of communication traffic that will be going on and I'm talking about cell towers. I'm not only talking about that, I'm talking about landlines and basic media communications, satellite link ups, things like that would be necessary in a event of this magnitude. Okay, so just a couple of things I want you to think about while moving forward to your final presentation here for the initial report. Okay. Any questions, comments, or concerns? I please get with me. And I think you've done a great job so far. So really great setup. The rest should be very, very easy for you. All right. Any questions? Give me a holler. Great job, man. Thank you.